I'm basically a former engineer that kind of turned into a marketing nerd and really focused the past 9 years on copy, direct response stuff. And it opened a lot of doors for me to work with people like Jason Capital, Jay Shetty, Les Brown, Jordan Belfort, and half a dozen other big brands doing everything from their email list management to adding Instagram chat sales or Facebook chat sales and really working with them to come up with systems to get them new leads and new clients in the door.
Amazing. I'm so pumped because my experience, I have lots of experience obviously in copy and email, but I have zero in chat marketing. So that's one of the places that I think there's a huge opportunity to talk about. Not many people know about chat marketing, the power of it, and whether or not
Mm.
it's even a viable option for a lot of smaller businesses, right? I think we assumed like the big guns, right? Like the Jay Shetty's and the Jason Capitals can obviously get into chat, but is it something that we can do? Do you need external platforms and all these technical pieces, right? So I think that's going to be a really fun conversation. One of the questions that I really want to start with, when you were first starting out, both for yourself and with these businesses, did you find video marketing to be a part of kind of your marketing space or your strategy?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because the whole principle behind what we do is figuring out a way to almost scale this one-on-one approach to doing business because there's a few reasons for it, right? When you are able to have this one-on-one conversation, you have a lot more price elasticity. So if you're just on a sales page, kind of talking to everyone, hoping people stick on, or hoping that they watched through an entire video presentation, the price is just the price. In a webinar, you have a little bit more flexibility. On the phone or in chat, you have a lot more flexibility because you're able to really dial in what specific solution you can match up to their pain. And so with video, exactly what you were talking about, we did look up solutions for that, and we have used video on more, I guess, sniper based like approaches for outbounding. In the chats, we do send out essentially what's a video sales letter, which is an 8 to 10 minute video that goes over the general presentation. So having those videos do help, and the more you can customize it, the better it is. But I wouldn't have that stop you from just starting and creating a lot of these, I guess, scalable assets or the sales collateral.
And then, so you mentioned 8 to 10 minute VSLs, which I think they're so powerful for anyone who hasn't had any experience using video sales letters. They're really simple, but crazy powerful when you put a person and a face behind a sales pitch, right? It changes the nature of the conversation, of the dialogue, of the interaction big time. So I love that you mentioned that. Are there any big takeaways or maybe lessons you learned about things that work and don't work when it comes to video sales letters in particular?
Yeah. So especially, I would say, especially today more than ever, there's three big things that come up. So the first is that you want to smarten everything down. And I like to phrase it this way because dumbing things down just, I don't know, it doesn't sound as good. It sounds like you're making it overly simplistic, but you want to take your ideas and make it so that a third grader could understand it. And that's one of the biggest things. Really, a lot of these tips, before I get into the next two, come down to taking a step back from your business to get some space and understand that you're immersed in your business every single day. The people coming to you for help are coming to you for help because they're the exact opposite. They don't know anything about your expertise. So with marketing, even when I talk about video sales letters like VSLs, webinars, funnels, a lot of people don't necessarily know what that means or don't necessarily know what I mean by that. And so it's always helpful take a step back and express it really, really simply. The second thing with the videos is it helps to get directly into it. A lot of people with their copy end up, it's not just clearing their throat where they're kind of easing into this invitation and, you know, getting started warming up with what they're saying. It's more so that you don't need to beat around the bush when it comes to selling because this conversation, this video, the whole point of it is it's just going to be a conversation where at the end, you're exchanging money with someone else. It's not this high pressure, you have to say the perfect thing to land the sale situation. So keeping it simple, getting directly to the point. And the third piece would be to focus on the proof. And proof is anything that makes your claims much easier to understand. So it doesn't just have to be gobs of testimonials or before and afters. Those can definitely help, but proof could be as simple as a demonstration. Most famous in my head is when Steve Jobs was showing the new MacBook Air and he had it stuffed in a manila envelope. You didn't have to say it's high tech, it's sleek, it's really light and easy to carry around. He just pulled it out of an envelope and compared to I don't know if you've seen them. My girlfriend has one of these like 2-inch thick Windows laptops. Like compared to that at the time, it was a totally different experience. So using like other sources of authority, pieces of news, even just listing out how you get people results in 4 simple steps can be considered proof. And so those are the 3 pieces I would say to base your video sales letters or any sort of sales collateral off of.
I love that. There is an art to getting to the point with when it comes to this stuff. I host a podcast, and I'll tell you, I listen to a lot of podcasts to try and get better at it. And one of my biggest pet peeves are the long-winded intros at the very beginning. Like before you even know what the podcast is about, there's like an 8-minute introduction. Hi, I'm so and so, and it's like, you lost me. I'm gone. I'm moving to the
Mm,
next one. So I love that you mentioned that because in sales in particular, like this is a yes or no. It's not even let's engage and play around for a while. It's like, are you interested in this thing? Yes or no. And I like that you mentioned that and the simplicity too, right? That's something that takes a lot of practice. I always say the best copywriters can say more with less words. That's what makes a
mm.
great copywriter. So that's awesome. Now, we chatted a little bit about VSLs. When and where are the best places to implement VSLs in your business?
Yeah, so this is something I've noticed a lot more recently, especially because kind of coming up behind the scenes, where before I was the CEO of Jason Capital's brand and running stuff for the past 5 years and really handling the fulfillment, not necessarily the sales and client acquisition for a chat agency I was running with a lot of those big names. Now working with a lot more business owners directly and making the sales, what I've noticed is a huge amount of overwhelm. Like you're in your business, there's so much to do. You have to create content, go on sales calls, send invoices, do all the reconciliation for the finances. And it could be more, it could be less, depending on what you're specifically doing. The reason why I like all of these marketing assets, the sales collateral, is because it multiplies you. So instead of going on a sales call, instead of reaching out and saying the same thing, custom and reinventing the wheel each and every time, what you can do is just have one video you send to people that walks them through making the decision to work with you. And there's a lot of these classic templates or formulas that focus on a high strategic level that you could apply to your business of just what people need to understand to be able to make that decision. And it really simply just going with the AIDA formula, it could start with getting someone's attention, offering what you have, seeing if they want it. And then if that's the case, you can hold on to their interest by giving a lot of those proof elements, teasing a little bit about how you get them results, what results people have gotten with you in the past, what makes you unique, and then really channeling that desire of, I call it dimensionalization, where you don't just say, hey, I'm a dentist, I can get you a brighter smile, but you build more of a 3-dimensional structure around that. And a good smile is just one piece of a better, more confident life because it's not just your teeth look better, it's you're smiling more people. You might meet the love of your life. You might feel more confident at work. And if you're more confident, you can get a raise. You might start getting positive responses from other people just because you radiate that confidence. And then the last part is really the action, which leads to, I just call it signposting, where you want to be very clear about the next step they can take to get started. And so I know especially there's a lot about offers, power offers, $100 million offers, grand slam offers, any sort of adjective in front of offer, it's there, it's out there.